My sister demanded I give her my daughter because she looked exactly like her baby photos. Katie showed up at my apartment Tuesday night and pulled out her phone showing me pictures of herself as a toddler next to recent photos of my 4-year-old Mia. The resemblance was honestly creepy. Same curly brown hair, same green eyes, same dimple on the left cheek. I said, yeah, family resemblance makes sense because we're sisters. Katie shook her head and said, I think the IVF clinic mixed up our eggs. I laughed and told her that's insane. She kept showing me more comparison photos saying Mia looks nothing like me but exactly like her. I told her to leave. She texted me that night saying she'd been having dreams about Mia and felt this pull like Mia was supposed to be hers. I showed Trevor and he said Katie's probably just struggling with infertility grief and projecting onto Mia. Katie came back Thursday with printed side-by-side comparisons. She'd made a whole presentation. I told her this was getting weird and she needed to stop. She started crying saying I didn't understand what it's like to desperately want a child you can't have. She said seeing Mia felt like looking at the daughter she was supposed to have. I felt bad but told her maybe she shouldn't come around for a while if it was this painful. She got angry and said if I cared about her I'd do a DNA test just to rule it out. I said absolutely not because I'm not feeding this delusion. That weekend she brought our mom. Mom said Katie explained her concerns, and maybe we should just do the test for peace of mind. I told them both to get out, but after they left I kept thinking about it. Not because I believed Katie, but because maybe proving her wrong was the only way to end this. I called our IVF clinic and asked if mix-ups like that were even possible. The woman got quiet and said someone would call me back. A patient coordinator called an hour later asking me to come in immediately. The clinic director pulled up mine and Katie's files. She asked if Katie had recently made claims about a mix-up. My stomach dropped. She strongly recommended I get a DNA test and said the clinic would cover it. I got tested that afternoon. 3 days later, they called me back in with a lawyer present. During my egg retrieval 5 years ago, there was a labeling error. Katie's frozen eggs from her retrieval the year before were stored in the same unit. When they prepped my eggs, one of Katie's got mixed into my batch. That egg became Mia. Mia is genetically Katie and Trevor's daughter, not mine. I walked out without hearing the rest, sat in my car and cried. When I told Trevor, he said it doesn't change anything because I carried her and raised her. But it changed everything because Katie was right. I called Katie and asked when she found out. She said 2 years ago when she tried to use her frozen eggs, and they told her one was missing. They explained the error, and she figured out the timing matched Mia's conception. I asked why she never told me. She said at first she didn't know what to do, but then she started researching legal cases. Found one where a woman got partial custody after a clinic error. Katie had been building a case for 2 years, documenting visits and time spent with Mia. She was going to file for custody without warning, but last month Mia looked so much like Katie's baby pictures that Katie couldn't wait anymore, and came to me hoping I'd just agree. Trevor and I hired a reproductive lawyer immediately. She said legally, I'm Mia's mother regardless of genetics because I gave birth to her. Katie has no parental rights, but Katie could sue and make it expensive and ugly. The lawyer said we should try settling directly. We offered Katie half our clinic settlement if she'd sign away all claims to Mia forever. Katie refused. She didn't want money, she wanted visitation rights and to be called mom. I told her that would never happen. She cried saying this was her only chance at motherhood because her remaining eggs were gone and she couldn't afford another IVF cycle. Trevor pointed out Katie knew for 2 years and said nothing. She wasn't being honest. She was building a legal attack. We filed for a restraining order. Katie contested it. In court, her lawyer argued biological rights while ours argued gestational and legal rights. The judge granted our temporary restraining order until the custody hearing.